some goofy ideas for presentations. But
Look, I just hit the live button. Steve, we're live 5 minutes early.
no, don't say that.
Hey, y'all. Salutations to the kindred spirits. I'm here with Steve Reynolds. I just asked him a question, and he had an interesting answer. I thought maybe we'd just keep talking about it. What's up, everyone? Steve, what did I ask you? If you use
I use ChatGPT, yeah,
the chat,
yeah,
the AI, the artificial intelligence.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Usually it's grammar questions.
How do you spell taco? No,
Yeah.
no, but that was not your answer.
I ask it, logic questions just to see if I can build my skills up. It's like this back and forth.
ChatGPT, if you're not aware, is a interface where you can just say, hey, artificial intelligence, tell me things or have a conversation. I've taken to using it for a number of things, and so I'm just curious if anyone else is, and I ask people.
There's people that use it a lot. I just don't use it like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you said you have like theology discussions.
Well, I was just saying it's more like logic, using logic skills to see if I can.
Nick, we're on early because I figured this early ChatGPT talk isn't officially magic conversation. So this is not what we discussed before we came on. This is pre-show. This is pre-show. Welcome to pre-show, everyone. That's what we're doing. Gotcha. And hey, Nick, good to see you. Good to see Tim Askin always. Look who's here. Fast Eddie, Thomas, Michael, Scott Smith. Greetings. Steve is like, oh, I know Scott. He's a good guy. Right before the stream, we can see the comments. We're back here waiting for y'all. But I want to finish this because here's where I decided to click the go live button because you segued into sometimes you talk card tricks.
No, it's just before when I first got it, when I first realized it was there, I just asked it some presentation questions. That's all. Like the travelers with the time travel.
Yeah, that counts. I found myself asking it for scripting ideas. I was hanging out in the Discord the other night and was trying to get some short form video scripts from artificial intelligence. It's horrible. For now, our jobs are secure, folks. As long as you can be just a little bit creative. The presentation is not good.
Yeah, like I said, I normally use it for grammar questions. You can get real specific. And
I've been using it to design merch.
Nice.
I go on there and I say, give me a t-shirt design. So hopefully we'll have some t-shirts for sale. Speaking of for sale, let me talk about some things, some merch, because I got to pay the bill somewhere around here. And as I say these words, I can talk about that. I'm not going to curse, but man, I don't know what kind of idiot steals from an independent magic shop owner on the internet, but whoever jacked me for a couple $100, you know what you can do. And yeah, over the holidays, I got by a credit card thief. And anyway, I added some new merchandise this week. Some of the Penguin line, these are their mark cards. We love them. We'll be exclusively carrying the Penguin mark cards. We're opting for their ties system. This is their invisible elastic system, ties, TIES. That's on our website now. Turns out I have all the cartoons now. I have the cartoon remastered as well as the triple pack. This has versions 1, 2, and 3, and we have the jumbo cartoon as well. This is your commercial. We sell things at conjure.com, and if y'all could arrange to go buy about $200 of crap, that will help combat crime on the internet. And I hope that guy has fun with the Cardzilla package. Also, before we get into Steve's conversation, before we go deep diving into Marlo and Cardopia, I have a giveaway to do from last week. We have a product that's new. Let me drag this thing out. Every year, the Teno company, Teno, right?
Sure.
You have any Teno tricks, Steve?
No.
You don't ever buy the new Teno?
I don't buy stuff.
Steve doesn't buy stuff. This is Shakuru, which is a painting effect. And if you know me, I like the painting effects. I thought maybe I'd take a bad swing at doing this thing. How do you feel about that, Steve?
Let's do it.
I think Steve's ambivalent.
I just want to see some good magic.
Well,
it's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen here. All right. Well, what do they say? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Heard that.
This plot is one of my favorites. I was introduced to it from Chris Kenner I was reading the Richard Kaufman write-up in Genie. You get Genie? You read Genie?
Mm-hmm.
Steve says yes. He is a nice lineage. He talks about a guy who I was not familiar with. And here's another reference you might find interesting. Douglas Wicks had Rembrandt aces, and he would just brush a deck across the pad to produce the 4 aces. So this is the initial effect in Harry Lorraine's Apocalypse, painting just 4 aces. I attributed that to an item from a Frank Garcia book, Super Subtle Card Miracle. So I got a new credit here. But even prior to that, or of interesting note, is Michael Weber, who used the painting process for the 21 card trick to do an efficient layout.
That makes it fast. He did that how many times?
You know, I haven't found the reference for that, but how cool is that? That a Michael Weber process for the 21 card trick led to this painting the royal flushes scenario. And
I always liked your rendition.
Thank you. Thank you. Richard Kaufman mentions
that's the only one I ever saw, but you know.
Yeah, no one does the trick until I started doing it. Yeah. Kaufman references my handling in the thing, but he doesn't mention me. Chris Kinner had an interesting approach where he would paint the flushes directly after losing 4 kings within the deck. Nice. And I extended the painting procedure by painting first the 4 aces and then the royal flushes. It kind of gives some extra beats.
And you had a triumph aspect to it.
Well, which I later eliminated, thinking no one really cared about that part of the trick.
That's the part I liked.
Yeah, but you're a card nerd. Steve, in lieu of having any actual selection, could you just name a card?
3 of hearts.
The 3 of hearts, you say? Nope, try again. If you could just pick another.
No, that's my favorite one.
So we introduced the blank pack, and I'm not sure why we would introduce this. And after the spectator freely names a card and a little shenanigans, you go about this procedure where you paint an image onto the card. And as the credits say in the book, this harkens back to a Justin Flom effect. He had card artistry. And in card artistry, you would force a card, and after painting, I think Justin had the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa appeared holding 1 card, and the card she held was the selected card. In this case, the freely named card appears from the blank pack, and this is Shakuru.
There it is.
We got through that.
That was, you know.
There it is. You know, I'm having a hard time getting excited about this trick, and I'm not even sure why. It just doesn't feel like a Teno piece to me. It's like, I don't know. And, you know, I don't want to say bad things about something I haven't spent enough time with, so I'm not going to, as Mother would say, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. So, but look, we're getting good comments. It's super cool, and applause, and too much magicalness. We have jaded spectators here. If someone would say something bad about the trick, I would appreciate it.
There goes your whole segment.
Here's some good news for someone. Someone from really last week's stream, if you took the time to comment, we're celebrating. Look at the celebration, Steve.
Damn.
I know, right? Sometimes we go that direction even when I'm not expecting it to. Someone who commented on last week's stream is going to win one of these Teno tricks. Oh, we've got them already. The winner is Reckless. We already picked them. Reckless. Teno covering my bets. And Reckless, you're going to need to email me to win this Teno pack. If you know, you know. You're going to get this package sent right to you. And if you don't know where to do this, it's conjure@conjure.com. This is where you can send any inquiries. Let me mention a couple inquiries I had last week on last week's stream. And congratulations there. I had, I mentioned a book, Steve. You know what book I mentioned?
No.
I mentioned Now You See It, Now You Don't. You know who wrote that book?
Yeah.
Who wrote that book, Steve?
Bill Tarr.
Bill Tarr. Yeah. We love Bill Tarr.
Yes.
I'm going to start talking about Barry Ross more.
Barry Ross?
Yeah, the illustrator.
Oh,
you know, because
yeah,
I think he had so much to do with that
Did
book.
he do other things besides that?
I want to do bad jokes here, but I don't
done
even
your
know. I'm not going to do
research
that.
yet. This is the beginning.
So Barry Ross, I mean, he brought these books to life. Look at what I got here. These are actually ready to be shipped out because on my stream last week, I said, hey, if you need a copy of Now You See It, Now You Don't, let me know. And I did have a couple students let me know. And so those that did email me, and
this is from the library.
So here's what I do. I get submissions from people from around the world or Florida, and they send me books. And then I take the books and send them back to the universe that needs them.
Nice. Cool.
It's the Doug Kahn Scholarship Program.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm doing the work over here. So this one is going to Gary Powers. I got the other package going to Ziri, and when we look at these books, look at the work of Barry Ross here, bringing these tricks to life with his wonderful illustrations. I mean, it's like, you know, they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. It really shines, and Now You See It, Now You Don't, right? Where I've shown this book around too many times on this stream, but it's like
don't show that part.
Oh, I'm sorry. Steve's like, no exposure though, Doug. We don't talk about methods when I'm on the show. So yeah, we're going to send these books out to some students who I think needed them. And Gary and Zuri, I hope they sit well in your library and that they inspire you as they did me. That Bill Tarr 101, that was my very first magic book when I was a novice. And paging through that book reminds me of so many great lessons. Mnemonics is in there, Steve.
Oh,
Magic Square is in there.
Nice.
Come on now, the linking rings. I used that linking ring routine from that book.
Really?
True story. Well, 80% of it.
Yeah, because you learned some of it from Magic Masters. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. The Magic Master routine was based on the Bill Tarr routine.
Really?
There. Yeah. It was in the instructions. When you bought the Magic Masters instructions, you got Bill Tarr and Barry Ross.
Oh, nice.
Illustrations.
Cool.
Fast Eddie's paying for the shipping. Eddie, thank you, sir. Little kind donation from a kindred spirit. Always appreciated. And that was about what shipping cost. $18.76 to get those books sent to Colorado and wherever. Or it's not Colorado. Steve, you have a book.
Yes.
Let's talk about your book. Because while we are going to talk about Kardashian things,
yeah,
we are here to talk about what you've been working on.
Sure.
So hold it up. Well, I like this camera actually. What is this thing?
This is the book that goes with a video that I produced.
This is Vignettes at Tony's.
That's right.
It's a book and a video.
That's right. And there's a QR code in the book that you can
I guess I better not flash that.
And it includes 5 Marlo effects, cards to pocket, that were on a cassette tape from 1989 that was recorded to later publish these versions. And it was recorded in Tony's restaurant in Chicago.
Interesting.
So my initial idea was to film myself following along with Marlo's instructions and include subtitles, but I wanted to make it look like I was sitting at the table learning from Marlo. So recently, my buddy Ben Long and I filmed this kind of documentary, kind of shaky camera. And then I edited all the explanations and all my performances, and you follow along at the table.
You hit the sweet spot there. It's like, is it a trinity? Is that what it is? It's, Marlo's words, your video, and then the book.
And the subtitles in the book.
Right. Yeah. So all of that coming together.
And and even better, it's not just the tricks. I mean, if it was all about the effects or the methods, then I could have divvied these methods up over, maybe in the in the output, whatever. But when I told Malone about it, he said, every week, every Wednesday, we get together at Tony's.
Right.
I mean, when he was in Chicago back in the day, they would get together and have a private session. So I had Bill tell me all these stories. So each method has its own story, and it's kind of a narrative about how Bill picked them up at the house.
I'm like
went
feeling
to
the love so much for this project.
Yeah, and this is what that's exactly what it's about. It's not just about the tricks.
Right. And what a great vibe to capture, and congratulations for capturing it. And not just that, but also understanding what a modern audience desires, the video element, and bringing that all together in a great project. Congratulations on succeeding.
Thank you. Yes, this was a concept that I had about 5 years ago. And when I got towards the end of Primetime Marlo, which I did, we talked about last time I was here.
Yep.
I said, okay, what's next? So I went back into my notes on this and I started piecing it together, and all the stories fell into line, and there was a whole story with it. So you can read all the little quick stories, the vignettes, right in a row, and you get this sense of an adventure sessioning with Marlo, plus the tricks.
Well, I put the links to this in the description of this video. We could go to your website and look around here. This is the direct link to the project, and there is a promo, a trailer there you can look at that explains your goal of capturing a session with Marlo. I think you did that admirably. What else you got going on here at Steve Reynolds Magic?
Well, there's Primetime again.
Yeah, Primetime we've discussed on this channel before. So this is footage of Marlo remastered with the book.
With the book compendium, 88-page book, pretty heavy duty.
This is a wonderful project, and having the book companion to this footage is,
which was shot in
1972.
Yeah.
So y'all need to go to Steve's site and pluck around and look at some of this, the trailers and the Marlo footage. And if you want to go deep down the rabbit hole, well, Steve's waiting.
And then there's
for
my
you.
stuff.
These no, Steve laughs, but look, it's a serious output, and we were talking kind of about what to do with this, and Steve doesn't really want to talk more about future projects right now, but I think output would make a wonderful, like, best of book.
My favorite, the best of, that's subjective, but I'll put my favorites in there.
Yeah, so we're all going to vote for a premium output book. We'd love to see that, but yeah, y'all go check out a vignette at Tony's. Support the jam that's keeping the work alive. There's not a lot of guys flying the flag of the masters and keeping the not just the general vibe of what it was like to be in a serious card session and really learn the real work from real masters, but also
now, and keep in mind that the material here ranges from easy to challenging, and then a gimmick method of this effect. But the first version, piece of cake. So you're not going to break your knuckles.
So we should not be fearful of the word Marlo.
No.
And I've actually been trying to talk Steve into an easy Marlo book. He says, I can't say too much. I'm going to stop saying words, but there is a misconception about Marlo that it is, oh, look who's here. When he hears Marlo talk, Sai is going to be around. Yep, we're talking about Marlo. Did you see Steve's new book? Look, I know you've been into Vernon lately, but this is like a session, and it's got Bill Malone stories in it. Look, Malone's there. Yeah. Yep, that's right. I know Steve's a dog guy, so he probably doesn't appreciate.
No, that's all right. How you doing, Cat?
Sai comes up here just to piss off Steve because he knows he's a dog guy. We don't see much of him lately. All right, get your butt off of here. Go on with yourself. Go on. All right, that's over.
Yeah, so it ranges.
Yeah, but it's more attainable than people would think. We could go back to your site and look at the Marlo road map projects you've done, and you do private tutoring on these subjects too.
I do.
If you really want to learn about Marlo, sign up for a couple of 3 hours with Steve, and he'll tell you how to get it right. So yeah. I was hoping maybe you'd do one of the tricks from the book.
I'll do the first one. This is the one, but
you won't do the whole book?
I'll do it in a way. Yeah. So, all right. So
what we got going on here?
So this is the classic Sadowitz effect.
Let's not assume everyone knows this.
Okay.
Not even,
I'll show you
nor who is Sadowitz.
Jerry Sadowitz.
Who is that?
He's a card magician from Scotland, a stand-up comedian, and was cohorts with Peter Duffy. They did a lot of work.
Can we agree he's brilliant?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, his innovations in card magic are
very good.
So he has this trick with 8 cards, and
Yeah,
what?
And so this is one of Marlo's renditions of it. Marlo had many versions of that effect. That's why I'm wearing a jacket here. It
Okay.
is chilly and uncommonly chilly.
So
in New Orleans.
it uses pockets. It is cold today, actually. I mean, it's brutally cold in the 40s.
So the spectator in this case can give you any
What do you hit? You got
ace 2, 3, and 4.
Ace 2, 3, and 4.
I'll do it.
Okay, I'll shut up.
This is the part where I do it.
Do it, Steve. Do it.
Now you can have handed me any ace 2, 3, and 4, and 4 of a kind, like in this case, kings. Right? Now it could be jacks, queens, but we start with the ace 2, 3, and 4, and of hearts, and each one will go in the pocket. So the ace of hearts will go into this pocket here.
All right.
Yeah. Fill in entertaining patter later. The 2 will go into this pocket.
Marlo was not known for his theatrical scripting.
Well, he was actually entertaining.
Unlike yourself.
Unlike myself. How we made this entertaining, I don't know.
Let's go, buddy.
So there's the 4, or the 3, I'm sorry. Put that into this pocket here, and finally the 4. And that goes up into this pocket, right? So now we have the ace 2, 3, and 4 in this pocket. We have the 4 kings. We snap, and
no way.
They're
Bam.
in my hands. And in the pocket, of course, or the pockets.
Wow.
So this is the classic. Well, Sadowitz's routine is called the more things change. That was one at a time.
Crazy direct.
Each one would change one at a time in the hands. Now, Marlo's first versions that he put in the Marlo Magazine 5 also was one at a time, but he found that to be a bit over,
I can
too
see
much.
That. Yeah.
Then he started doing it all at once, and it became very direct. So this is the first version in this Tony's book, and then it goes on. He addresses certain.
My brain's going, have I seen it all at once? Have I seen it all at once? Would I have seen this plot all at once before? Because I have seen
in Card Fixes.
Oh, yeah, Card Fixes.
Him and Rocker Bomber published, there was 3 methods that Marlo had called Unhappy Students.
All right. But that's buried. Like, I would not.
That is buried.
It's not like you're going to see that on a,
And on the cassette tape, there was a part in the more complex 4th method, which is for those that really want to get heavy duty. The 4th method that's the one.
Everybody ready to get heavy duty then?
That's the one.
We're going to Magazine 5, the 4th method. That's going to be, there's 3 people who can research that right now. The 5th method
is in here. That's what I'm talking about. So the 4th method is in here. You got it?
Stephen Barksdale's in the house.
Are we good? Oh.
No, I'm acknowledging the kindred spirits.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So on the cassette tape, anyway, on the 4th method, which was pretty complicated, he just said, now do this, now do that, which on the cassette tape, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had to go into Card Fixes and do a little intel and make, there's the detail that I was missing. And then I go back to the cassette tape, and it was like I was
when I talk
listening at the table.
So. When I talk about supporting the work, y'all go do that, because without that support, things like this don't happen, and we're missing pieces of history that could be staying alive for just a few bucks. I mean, if you can't afford it, I get it, but if you can afford it, support some art, and you get a good story too. So that's cool.
So that was pretty good, real direct.
Yeah. I've played with versions of that plot, but I think because of what you said, the one-of-a-kind nature is a bit like not as entertaining as it needs to be for the laity. So I never really
put them in the pocket. Boom.
Yeah.
And then bam.
I guess Gary Kurtz had a method. Gary Kurtz had a handling that appealed to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guy Hollingsworth had a great rendition. Kind of a pocket interchange.
I mean, I've seen you do several versions of this even before this.
Yeah,
right?
I have my own little funky ones. Yeah. Because Jack Carpenter had we don't want to confuse the 2 effects. They're not the same effects.
Okay, so let's clarify. There's
one goes into one pocket and there's a different effect going on. It's similar, and it's easy to get the 2 confused.
Jax was in Modus Operandi. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think in Labyrinth to begin with, back in the Steve Hobbs.
I think Modus Operandi predates that.
Oh, maybe.
It's irrelevant right now. It'd be fun if we had some
arm wrestle.
I would go Indian leg wrestling if you want to go that way.
I'm leaving.
Questions from the galley would be wonderful. If anyone has any knowledge they would like to extract that isn't going to expose methods on the internet, because Steve's a keeper of the flame. Speaking of the flame,
I have reasons.
next week I'll be unboxing these. This is swish. This is the Tally-Ho Spectrum deck, which I've opted to use for Chameleon Sandwich. I'll probably do like a member giveaway for this pack. So if you are a member on my channel, you could maybe win one of these next week. I'm going to be using it for Chameleon Sandwich. I have a deck of white circleback Tally-Hos, and I thought it would be clever to go from...
What's my favorite pudding, somebody asked.
Why are you cutting in on my jam,
Oh,
Steve?
I'm sorry.
I'm going to get to the questions. So, Steve, what's your favorite pudding?
Keep going.
All right, here we go. Can you demonstrate a Pharaoh shuffle?
I thought we were on cards to pocket.
No, we're moving on.
Oh,
The
okay.
session is moved.
Well, let's see what this deck does here.
This is a
that's
brand
not
new
bad.
deck.
Nice.
Old school bike reds.
So if you can manage to cut to 26, that's what kind of looks like.
Are you doing table riffles right now?
That's a table.
Can you bring this up a little bit more? Like come up a little bit more so we can see.
I can only do it at this corner.
Can we get this thing? Nah, that's no.
No,
good.
don't.
No. Hold on. It's all breaking up, Steve. Okay.
Come here and you just riff.
Whoa, baby.
You can come up. You can bring this other one up and go for it too. But once they touch, riffle.
All right.
That's the key.
That was
You can go slow, but once they touch, riffle. Don't. All you're doing is shuffling.
ask and you shall receive. That's the appropriate response.
Oh yeah, chameleon sandwich is a good one.
It is a good one.
I think that's the first trick I ever saw you do.
That's likely. I did that trick.
You tried one before, it didn't work, so that was the first one that actually worked.
That sounds like me. That's how I roll. Nick's waving the blue bike flag. You're flying solo. Actually, that's not true. I've heard guys dig the blue bikes. Have you heard this blue bike theory?
No, I tend to use blue bikes, but this is the one.
Do you have a reason why you would use? Yeah, you did ask me for blue. You said, "Hey,
Yeah,
Doug, you
it's
got
just-
a blue
I don't
deck?"
know. I got a blue jacket on. I don't know. I want to match.
Is it fashion then? It's not.
No.
Has nothing to do with.
No,
method?
it's just an aesthetic thing. You
So-
know, it's
so-
just something I always like.
I'm going to echo.
And red is usually, I change the deck to red. That's
so,
more colorful.
So that's what I was told is that color makes the deck prominent and blue makes the deck less prominent. So like if you want to keep the deck in the shade, doing techniques
I got you.
or even
Is that the theory?
I mean, it's Garrett Thomas's theories through another student. It's hearsay theory. We should talk about something else. Did you figure out what pudding you like? No.
Well, I was in Scotland and there was like the Queen's pudding or something.
Oh yeah, you were in the UK. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Absolutely
You
fantastic.
did a
I had
little-
homemade pudding at my
but
buddy's
is
house.
that pudding or
That's
is
some pudding, I'll tell
Okay.
you. Well,
you
it's
did
a little different than like, like,
dial this back? You jumped on an airplane. You went to the UK.
I'm hungry now.
They'll get to. Maybe we'll go get some po' boys
Okay.
after this. And you did a little lecture tour, sharing your card.
Yeah, and I did a lot of visiting with friends as well. It was
Yeah.
great.
There's some serious students in the area.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So yeah.
Edinburgh was the best. I had a
Edinburgh?
great time. Oh yeah, it was great.
Was Ian Kendall there? Did you see you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
My buddy Gordon,
Yeah.
pudding man.
What kind of
call him
pudding did you?
man.
What was the Queen's pudding?
I forget the exact name of it, but it was great. But Manchester and Skipton, which was a great little farm
Yeah.
area. I preferred the rolling hills of
Yeah.
the moors or whatever. And
I'm so ready to do
than the
that.
city of London. I enjoyed London because I got together with some friends and had a 4-hour jam.
Let's go
But
back.
you never see anything when you do that. You never leave
Yeah,
the hotel.
That's my thing when I'm traveling doing lecture tours. Is all I see is the lecture
Yeah.
tour. I remember I was in San Antonio and I saw the Alamo by accident. I had to go mail a package and I looked to my left and I'm like, oh, there's the Alamo. Hold on. That is interesting theory. I wanted this.
It was at a gore.
What's your favorite Marlo trick, Steve? And why is it Devilish Miracle?
That's the one I like because of the twist in the middle, the cycle. It's usually the one people miss.
Yeah.
That's why I like it. It's a strong effect. And I talked about it like 2 times ago. Right?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
But that's the reason.
Y'all go watch Steve's.
It's one that's misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the psychological.
It's a nice multi-effect.
Yeah, and it can be easily miscalculated and turned directly into a sucker effect. But I think it's a better trick if you delay that and try to downplay the sucker part.
Yeah, they're missing the boat. You're missing the boat if you're doing it not Marlo's way.
That's what makes it devilish.
What about this one? The Monk's Way 2.
Did somebody ask that?
Are you ever going to make a sequel? Steve's been making sequels every week. Go read Output. How about that?
The Monk's Way 2. That was another concept.
You could start like, never mind. I'm going, no, it's no good.
Okay.
No.
Anything else?
Of course, you can't have any pudding if you don't eat your meat. Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Yep.
We're going to Pink Floyd questions now.
Okay.
You know what Steve likes?
I know Pink Floyd, Jethro Tull.
I was about to say he's going to talk about Jethro Tull.
Give me the questions.
When you're on a road trip with Steve, two things happen on road trips with Steve. Lots of talk about card tricks, and music with flutes.
Yeah. And you either don't like them or you love them.
Yeah. No, I like them.
Or you know nothing
about them. This is why we get along all right. All right. Yeah. I'm interested here, and Stefan, I'm glad you're here asking cool questions. What's your go-to trick, Steve? Here's a deck. Go.
Just ambitious card.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
How many phases?
3.
Yeah.
Card to mouth, whatever. Different things. I play different ways. Sometimes I'll do it.
Does it change for you? Like
sometimes it depends on the vibe and what they say, and I can basically turn any trick into the ambitious card.
It's the beauty of the ambitious card. Jimmy Talks a Lot messaged me the other day. He said, Doug, what's the best card trick? I said, ambitious card. That was my answer. I thought about it for a minute.
And of course, twins. Hammon's The Twins is one that I really like. And Paul Cummins' Invisible Card, which is a version of the Biddle trick.
Would you be willing to do either one of those for us today? Please, sir.
The twins? I can do the twins.
We're at 428. If we could do the twins, and then I'll let you off the hook.
Is that what you want to see?
I love the twins. Y'all, if we get to see Steve do the twins, everyone's in for a treat.
Well, it's a good trick, but I mean,
yes.
That's a lot of buildup.
While you get those out, what's your favorite book?
My favorite non-card book is the Roy Benson book.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to think of what my favorite book is.
The Roy Benson book is a killer.
I mean, when I was growing up, Card Finesse 2 was my go-to book. It changed my whole perspective, so I have a love of that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Someone had mentioned Hamman earlier.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's funky.
So Hamman, this is in the Hamman book. And
other places as well.
Do you know where it was published first?
I think it was, maybe it was this, because I know the 7 Deadly Secrets had the pinochle trick. I don't know if the twins was in there.
So, The Twins by brother John Hamman, Steve Reynolds.
So not many people know this, but there are 2 twins in a deck of cards, and they're married to 2 other twins, right? So, for example, the King of Spades is married to the Queen of Spades, right? Now, his twin, that's this one, is married to her twin. That's that one.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So it seems that these 4, they went out on a double date, and when they got to the restaurant, the ladies went upstairs to freshen up. So the first king sat at the bar. sat next to Redhead.
Redhead.
Yeah. His twin brother, that's this one, sat next to her twin sister, that's this one. And they started talking. Innocently, I might add. But when the ladies came back downstairs, the queen of spades, the first sister, the brunette, sat next to the first redhead, and her twin sister, that's this one, sat next to the other redhead. And you better believe there was a lot of screaming and noise. So the ladies got upset, and first one took her man by the nose. That's this one.
Yeah.
Her twin sister, that's this one, took her man by the nose, and they left and went home. Now the question is, what happened to the poor little redheads?
Oh, yeah, the redheads.
First redhead, she went out onto the dance floor, found herself a redheaded boyfriend.
Cool.
And her twin sister, that's this one, found herself a redheaded boyfriend.
What?
And they lived happily ever after. And you can check those out if you want.
Hold on one second, because you do something else with this trick, don't you? You want to talk about
Well, Bill had the end, or I think who had the ending where you do the?
Can you talk about the ending?
Not really.
Can you do it?
I don't
know. Can you say where it is?
Yeah, Bill Malone.
Bill Malone
on the loose.
On the loose. All right. Steve likes to make you work. Well,
you can't give it all away.
I mean, you can, but not everyone has that vibe. And I love that. We all have our house of magic. Some of us are in the Marlo house. Some of us like cats. Some of us.
I don't know if Marlo was a cat person or a dog person.
Let me see that book again. We're about to sign off. Y'all thank Steve for hanging out with us today. And if you can go buy his book, that would be cool. The link is in the description of this video. And pick up some other stuff. You don't have to just buy that book. You can buy some other things. All right. We've done capitalism. We had some art. We had a good conversation. Thank you, Steve Reynolds.
Thanks for having me.
And I will see you at our next card session. Probably be next week. Bye, Internet.